Thursday Theories, week number 33. Here's an interesting thought, and I think it's really reflective of a lot of people in today's society, unfortunately. Okay, we're taking it the wrong way. So this is kind of like the flip side of how a lot of people look at things. So it's focusing on the positive does not mean that the negatives go away. It just means you're choosing to have more joy. As a teacher, I come across a lot of people, and that's adults and students both. It's not just because I'm a teacher, but I get to see students more with that role. So I see a lot of people of all age ranges who seem to be so heavily invested in the negative of things. You know, all the things that could go wrong, all the problems that are out there, all the what ifs. And I'm not saying that we ignore those by any means, right? We've got to know what's going on out there and be able to pay attention to them and do all that stuff. But when we do that, when we only focus on that negative aspect of stuff, suddenly there's this drain, there's an emotional drain on us, and eventually it becomes a physical and a mental drain on us as well, and it affects our health. And studies have shown that if you're only focused on the negative, it's a bad thing, and you just can't find things that are right. I'm not saying ignore those. What I am saying, though, is that we need to be able to learn how to look for things that are going right, and the things that are going well, and the things that are good for stuff, and that positive side of stuff. If we're able to do that, it changes our outlook on things, because suddenly there's more joy. It's like, oh wow, this is a blessing, this is a great thing, this is good stuff. And as we're looking at the good things, we're able to acknowledge the negative things. But we realize those aren't the positive, those aren't the priorities of things. Those are not the things that weigh the heaviest in our lives. That it should be the positive things that we're looking at. Looking at things positively means that we can look at the negative stuff, like I said, just in a different light. But those that look at the negative aren't able to look at the positive because they can't find a positive. And so it all becomes negative. When we look at the good stuff that's happening, anytime we look at bad stuff, we can say, well, yes, but, yes, and, right? We acknowledge the existence and say, what else is there? When you only focus on the negative, people seem to be unable to focus on anything else, unable to acknowledge anything else that goes right and goes well. So that's my encouragement to you. Take that moment every day, multiple times during the day. And it's not going to be an instantaneous fix by any means, right? This is a thing that takes days, months, weeks, years sometimes for people. It's a slow process for some because of how long they've lived looking at all the problems, looking at all the negative, looking at how everything's going to go wrong and how terrible people are, whatever that is, right? But take those moments. Work to recreate yourself. Make it so that you are focusing on those positives. Okay? And remember, focusing on the positives does not mean the negatives go away. It means you're choosing to have more joy. Have a positive and great week.